and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a pretty town red. Can't let that go down in my head, Wargaming.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I'm Shane, hanging out with Fox.
What's up? I'm normal.
And of course, we've got Churchy
I'm in the void.
in the void. And Rory on his phone.
Put your phone down, mate. Enjoy the moment.
That's Zoomer.
Get on the mic.
That's the problem with your generation, mate.
That's right. All these kids, they're always just like tippity tappity.
Yeah, iPad kids.
Yeah, these iPad kids.
These kids are tripod assessed, I'm telling you.
Always on the YouTube, the TikTok, the Vines, the Grinder, you know, all these
stuff.
things.
Yeah.
It's like go outside, you know, touch grass or whatever.
Yeah.
But all the grass is, huh?
You have a podcast.
We have a podcast.
Which you can find on all your favorite platforms.
Yeah. Today on our podcast, we are talking about Fjord Serpents.
Excuse me, what did you just say?
Fjord Serpents.
I think you said it wrong.
Did you just say Fjord Serpents?
It's here, the Fjord Serpents.
I pronounced the Y.
Fjord Serpents.
Why?
Exactly.
We are talking about, Fjord Serpents. Huh? I think you said it wrong. We are talking about Fjord Serpents. So we recently went to a convention.
Cancon, Australia's largest wargaming tabletop convention.
You corrected because you said wargaming last time and I said it was tabletop. And now you've added that in.
Okay, Chief.
I see you've adapted. Adapt or die. Overcome. Improvise.
Drink your own
Drink what?
beer.
Fair.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about a Viking tabletop naval skirmish war game.
Throw more buzzwords in there, bro.
Organic. Keto.
Sigma.
Sigma. Ligma. Yeah. It's,
E10.
So we went to a convention.
Yep.
And we did many laps of this convention, but like a magnet, this game drew us in every time.
Yeah.
And we just kept, I think there was so many times we just stood there and just looked
Just
at
staring, like just watching people have demo games.
Yeah.
And just not, just being like objects.
And so imagine you're in a convention center with traders everywhere, with their games everywhere, with boxes everywhere, and there's one game, like a siren on the ocean.
Like a beacon.
Calling to you.
Yep.
Buy me. Buy me.
That was Fjord Serpents.
Yeah, we had friends with us every time. They were like, if you keep coming back to this game, maybe you should just buy it.
Yeah.
And I know my hesitation for it was there are a lot of naval games that are very shit. Or worse, boring.
Yeah, it's hard to find a mix of entertainment and fun.
Like good gameplay,
Yeah.
interesting and fun and thematic,
Yep.
that's set in this 2D landscape that is naval warfare.
Yeah.
So that was my main concern. So I was like, it's incredibly beautiful. In fact, Churchy, if you pull up the Kickstarter page for it, the Kickstarter's done,
Yep.
but you can see those two ships that you see on your screen if you're watching on YouTube. If not, just imagine Viking longboats filled with this is 10mm wargaming too.
Yeah, interesting scale, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's
It's not quite 6.
it's not quite 15.
It's
somewhere in the middle.
And I think this is the perfect scale to be able to do, to be able to have multiple ships, to be able to have small islands with camps set up, because that's what we saw. We saw a little village in one of the corners of the map.
And like on the screen now, the that stacked longboat.
Yeah, there's a crashed longboat into some scary rocks.
Yeah.
And it was just beautiful. That was the first thing we saw when we walked past. I mean, you'd already seen this at PAX.
Yeah.
And you were just like, you gave me a nudge. You're like, you got to look at this. Like,
That's that game.
This is dope. And I was like, this looks incredible.
Yeah.
And so we weren't actually going to go to Cancon on the Saturday. We were going to go look at stuff around the city.
Yeah. But we just ended up back there.
And when we made that decision to go back to Cancon one more time, I'm like, we have to do a demo of that game.
It was super early.
Yeah.
Old mate Luke was at his booth almost asleep.
Yeah.
We've just like gate crashing like, hey, can we have a quick game?
You want to give us a quick game?
And he's just like,
yeah.
yeah.
And the thing is, like, we didn't know anything about it. So I didn't actually know that the person demoing the game was actually the designer and creator of the game, Luke Payne.
Nuts. Yeah.
Which was a very cool insight because you sit down for about 30 seconds with Luke, and the first thing I knew about Luke was that he knew historical Viking era.
He's a Viking nerd, dude.
Oh, bro.
Loves it.
He knew
Loves it. Like, just to, like, and he reflected that knowledge and the knowledge that he's learned from a lot of his friends and colleagues into his game.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is awesome. So
Yeah.
we were like, all right. I was like, this is the I want to buy this game on looks alone, but I've done that many times.
It's so easy to do, man. So easy to do.
You're like, it's beautiful. The miniatures are beautiful. Can't wait to paint them up. Can't wait to play the game. And there have been games where I've done that and we've played it, and it's like the miniatures are still beautiful, but that's not enough to make me want to keep putting this on the table.
Yeah, there's like something wrong with the game, kind of.
Yeah, or it's just not for us.
Yeah.
It's like that's just not our vibe or whatever.
Yep.
So that's why I was like, if we're gonna back this, because you can still jump on Indiegogo.
Yeah. It's in production,
Yeah,
or it's just finishing production.
but it's like late pledges.
Yes, they're taking late pledges, so there's still time. If you're watching this close to when we've released this episode, there's still time.
Yeah.
If it's any later, it's probably in a store near you. Like
That's facts.
He's got some connections with a few gaming stores, especially here in Australia. Yeah, it's going to be out there.
The more we talk about this game, you'll hear more and more stuff that sell it to you, as if the pictures we had up before weren't enough.
Yeah.
The mechanics of this game, it's so clean, it's so crisp, it's so well done. There's heaps to love.
Yep.
So if you're hearing it going, I love this, but how on earth do I get it? Yeah, if you're like maybe even 2 weeks out from when this drops, the late pledges might be closed. Just go find there's a Fjord Serpents website. Go
Facebook
find
group?
the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Luke's active in that, so you could even just be like, how do I get this game
Yep.
from where I live now?
Yeah.
And you'll figure it out because it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Production too it's getting printed, I think, in China, so it's sort of like globally.
Yep.
It's the same. It's relative to all of us.
It should be, it should be relatively easy to get it. Right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's hard with some of these things that are printed like in the UK or in the US. Down here in Australia, it's very hard to get those kind of things because they're so far away, and obviously vice versa.
Yeah.
But being sort of smack bang in the center,
Yeah.
hopefully it can.
Yeah, I think we're also going to get it, like, for those people that have pledged on Indiegogo, we get it at the same time as Luke does, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And also it's great for people. Like, if this was something that he was just making here locally, it'd be very difficult for international buyers. So we know we got a lot of people that listen from France and the US of A.
Yep.
And Kazakhstan and
Tunisia. Tunisia.
Oh yeah. Where else has been popping up lately? Classic Belgium.
Yep.
Sweden, we've always been a banger in Sweden.
Oh, the Swedes love us, dude.
So this is right up your alley.
We love the Swedes.
So yeah, check out
Yep.
Fjord Serpents, give it a Google, jump on the Facebook page, the website's there too. So let's go to the Kickstarter page quickly, because before we talk about the game, I want to talk about sort of like what we were playing with, which was the starter set.
Yeah.
As
So
you
two, like we had a ship each.
Yeah.
Playing against Luke, who had a larger ship, and his mission was to try to get off our table edge.
That's right.
Yeah.
He basically stolen some stuff from our island and wanted to sail past
He
us.
pillaged our village.
Our village. The old village pillage, we
Yep.
call him.
Yep.
Old Luke. And so, yeah, this is the starter set. It's very cool because you can see you get the 4 boats. There's 2, I forget what the boats are called. I knew them up until...
Carvey and something else.
I don't want to butcher it, so I've got the actual fleet creation cheat sheet in front of me.
Luke called one a Carvey.
That's right. So you get 2 of those.
Yep.
And this is going to take me too long to find. So for comedic value, I'll need a Snekja.
Schnick, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, 2 of them.
Nice.
And then you've also, like, as add-ons, you can get, like, there's the bigger flagship.
Yeah.
Or also you can get the merchant
Trader
ship,
ships. Yeah, they're cool.
which is very cool.
Yep.
So this is the starter set. 2 of each of those ships there.
And a stack of troops and heroes.
No, I don't
No,
think you've
they're
got any heroes.
expansion.
Oh, actually, it does look like there's 2 little heroes there. I can't quite
Yeah.
tell. Which is cool because if you scroll down, Churchy, we'll show you how this works. So you get your ships, you get all your little trays of people, but
Yep.
below here, there's some cool videos as well. You can still watch on the Kickstarter.
Yep.
That gives you an idea of like the scale of the 2 ships,
There's the crew.
some of the crew,
Yep.
some of the tokens. There's a little animation here, which is cool.
Yeah.
So you get these different like what do we call those?
Figureheads.
The prows of the figureheads. The figureheads of the prows.
Yep.
You can do full. This is when you're in like full speed, but you can also like go under oar, which is when you drop your.
Yep.
And this is the people plotting in there.
Yeah, don't forget people also listen to this and they don't.
Yeah. No, and so, look at that. Oh, would you just look at that? Dude, would you just look at that? Yeah, so it's really cool. It's modular. So you've got these little trays of your troops, which
Yep.
are usually just like spearmen or whatever.
Yeah, and you remove them as they take casualties.
Yeah. But
and-
each of them
yeah.
actually has an action.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
Yeah.
And when you're list building, you can take them out and pay extra points to put in, say, archers or who are the
Berserkers.
javelins or berserkers.
Yeah.
There's also a little slot at the back if you want to put in a hero,
Yep.
which gives it special abilities. So, for reference too, like Luke is a competitive player,
Mm-hmm.
so there is a lot built in this game in case you want to play this competitively.
Yeah.
He said there was some silly amount of different combinations of ways you can build your ship
Yeah.
based on changing all those things. Like you pick your faction and your Jarl and all that. And
Yep.
like that all has passive abilities or whatever.
Yep.
So and then you talk about, it actually says here, to build your fleet, you choose a faction.
Oh,
you
yeah.
Scroll down.
Yep.
You design your Jarl. You assemble your fleet. Pay points. Crew your ship with Vikings. So every time you buy a ship, you basically fill the slots with regular people.
Yep. And you can upgrade them for extra costs.
Facts, big facts.
Yeah.
And then you choose a game mode. I'll talk about game modes soon because the campaign one sounds super tight.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the game we played.
Oh man, it was so fun. It was the best game. It was actually
It's
the best
actually
game.
such a good game.
Like it has like a wind thing that you have to roll for, and a random and a die roll which indicated the critical success, major success, value, which changes. It can change every turn.
Yeah.
And one above and one below is a minus success, and everything else is a miss. So, for example, you roll your 4 is your target number. So 3s and 5s are minus successes.
Yeah.
And everything else is a miss, and that was just so much fun.
It was a beautiful mechanic because it just felt so neat within the game.
Yeah.
So especially you had that big dice.
Yeah.
So it was like at the start of your turn, you roll this dice. It's a 3. Okay. We don't care about 1s and 6s anymore.
Nah.
That doesn't matter anymore. 3 is the new critical
Yeah,
success.
yeah. So we're looking for 2s and 4s.
2s and 4s for minors.
Yeah.
And if you want a major, it's the 3.
Yep. It's interesting though, because like if you think about it, it doesn't really change anything. It just immediately you stop looking for ones and sixes.
Yeah,
Like you said, like
yeah.
you know, when you play games, you see 6s, you're laughing, right? Most of
Yeah.
the time, that's what you want to see.
Yeah.
But in this instance, it's like no. Like you're constantly having to go, like you just analyzing everything and like yes, that's a major, that's a minor, and then everything else is a miss or whatever.
There was something really cool about fishing for 5s.
Yeah.
Or fishing for 2s.
Yeah.
You know, like it didn't take any extra effort. Like your
Nah.
brain didn't have to just like, it felt like the kind of thing where I was like, oh, my body's used to just looking for 6s. 6s good, 1's bad.
And the first couple of rolls, kind of, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, once you know that 2 is the number you want, and a 1 and a 3 is minor successes, and then you forget about everything else.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
And like it goes around like a deck of cards too. So like if it is 6s, if 6 is the number for that round,
Yep.
then you're looking like 6 is the major success and 5s and 1s is the
Yeah.
minors.
Yep.
Same as if 1 was the number you're looking for, 1 would be a major, and 2s and 6s would be
Yeah.
minors.
Just such an interesting mechanic that fits so well in the game.
And like, I feel like if I had have just heard about someone doing that, I would have said to them, I feel like you're just doing that for the sake of doing something
it's
different.
like overcomplicating it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know,
for
on
the sake
paper,
of being different.
yeah. It's like you're trying to go against the grain, but it works.
When I played it, I was like, that's not what this is. This is a representation of the chaos that is. This should be. I feel like that should be a mechanic in a few games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was beautiful, and it did add just like this kind of fun vibe to the game from the get-go.
Yeah.
It was like, if nothing else, I'm looking for 3. Like, I want 3s of my crits.
I want 3s. I want 2s. Yeah.
And that's just this turn. Next turn, it's going to be different.
Yep.
But if at the start of your turn, you do roll the same number as you had the last turn,
Yep. Then the wind direction changes.
and like weather events and stuff can happen as well.
Yep.
Well, that didn't happen to us. We rolled a different number every time, which
Yeah.
kept us on our toes, which is cool.
Yep.
And so it was great. It was like he had one ship trying to beeline it off our edge, and we were trying to like pincer him. We had 2 smaller boats.
Yeah.
So I was like, we need to figure this out and take him on together.
There was so many different elements too that sort of makes sense, and it adds to the chaos which would be combat at sea. Right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
even like the archers, like my archers did work.
Yeah, they did.
And you had to roll a random number to see bless you, Rory, to see which like what I hit, right?
Try to put a silencer on himself.
He did pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good,
He
man.
did. That was like
They
a
probably
James,
didn't hear
like a
him.
James Bond, like PPK, whatever.
Yeah.
Pew, pew. Tom Clancy over here.
Yeah. Pew. Do it, Rory. Do the thing, Rory.
Do it.
The Tom Clancy thing, the night vision. They can't. It was for. Anyways, I'm sorry. Sometimes we do this for us.
Yeah, got to. But yeah, like it represented really well the chaos, and it was like, okay, so my archers have hit a target.
Yeah.
What have they hit?
Yeah.
Roll if it's like the guys at the front or the guys at the back.
Yeah.
And like every time it was like, sweet, my archers just took out your archers.
Yeah.
And like not only have I wounded them, I've killed all of them.
Yeah, you were slaying.
Oh, so good.
I knew this would be the game
So
for you,
good.
where any game where you don't have to look for 6s, that's just kind of your game, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And Luke was in the same boat. He's like, I'm that guy too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't roll well, so every time you roll that dice and it's 3s, he's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's going to be my round.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cool. There was so
So much fun.
So much to it, like, and it was represented, like you said, so well. So to keep it simple, you've got these little trays of people, of Viking warriors, and all your spearmen are together, all your archers are together, you know, all your berserkers are together, or whatever.
Yeah.
As Churchy's just showing on the screen for the YouTubians.
Yep.
You can see there's like 2 flanks. Those are on one tray. As they die, you pull them out of that
Yeah.
little slot that they just sit in.
Yep. Yep.
Because this is all modular. You don't actually need to build anything here.
No.
This is like, I think maybe you glue the shields on the side if you want.
Yep.
But the masts just sit in there, so you can swap out masts from when you're
Full
going
sail
full speed
to-
or
yep,
dropping
to-
ore.
Yep.
So that's cool too. The prow heads click in, click out, and the different troops just slot in there.
Yep.
It's very board game-esque in that sense.
It's going to be a good gateway game, right? Like it's got that kind of element there, and the whole combat thing. Like it does the naval combat so well. It does the
Yeah.
like, melee combat really well.
It's the first game that's balanced those two things
Yep.
so well that I've seen. Like I've watched a few games because we're looking for this.
Luke explained it so well when we were playing too. He explained how they did combat from ship to ship.
Yeah.
Because obviously these ships are so long and so narrow, they would roll very easily.
Yep.
So combat was a serious thing. It was kind of like, we're both not here to roll our ships.
Yeah.
So like, it was almost gentlemanly, but not.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
like,
an understanding, like out of necessity.
yeah, yeah.
Like we're gonna send our warriors forward to fight your warriors on the edges of our ships.
Yep.
Because if we flooded everything we had to the edge,
Someone's boat's going upside down.
yeah, and no one wants that.
And as Luke said, the boats were everything they had.
Yeah.
It was like you could rebuild a house on land, but like a boat took so much to craft. So it was like you sinking the ship was like the last resort.
Yeah,
You know, Joe's
Yeah.
just heading over to the old fridge.
beer fridge. Are you getting us another brew?
Jeez, I'm a bit slow on this one.
Oh, yeah, I'm a
Talking
bit
too
slow
much.
on this one too. Yeah. Sorry, we've been talking too much podcast, Audio medium where our voices are required.
Absolutely.
Fuck us, I guess.
True.
Yeah, and that was good because that's represented by the front troop of your ship is the one that fights.
Yeah, yeah.
And that sort of represents, they're the ones that are going to be up the front of the combat when you're along, and you can like roll up to these ships, grapple them, send out your grappling hooks, grapple them, fight them. If you kill enough, then your troops can jump onto theirs, and then you're fighting on their ship. Yeah. So you get like an extra set of actions as well.
Because you're also fighting from your ship, but you're also fighting on their ship.
And now they can't row off or do any sea movements until they clear the ship.
Fighting the people
of course.
on their
They can't just drop an oar and sailing away. There's people on their ship.
Yeah.
So that's all so very cool. And it's all, it's super clean. It just flows as well.
Didn't it?
It's got 2 ship phases and then a crew phase. And when you win, you pick if you want to have initiative in crew or ship.
Yep.
So depending on the turn, you can be like, all right, well, we're just sailing around at the moment, so I'll take the initiative in crew because I want to see what you're doing first in ship.
Yeah.
And it's also, that part of it's so cool.
Yeah.
And I love the sort of random, like when you're shooting stuff with your missile peoples.
Yeah.
You're randomly seeing where you're at. Because, like, it's spearmen. It might be spearmen, berserkers, archers.
Berserkers always got the front, dude.
Of course. But, like...
Because they're crazy.
Although that's where they are on the ship, really they're all together moving around. So when you're shooting arrows into it, it's random who you might kill.
Absolutely.
So that part of it's also very cool.
Yeah.
It just, it felt like even crashing into the side of a ship, if you hit the front third...
You can spin them around.
You spin them around. If you hit the back third, then their tail's flipping around.
Yep.
If that then causes them to crash into some scary rocks or a cliff or whatever, the wind's constantly blowing as well. So
even when you're locked in combat, you're drifting.
Yeah, you become a flotilla together.
Yeah. And you end up like there was a point where like we were nearly drifting into an island. And
we're like, oh, if we go down, we go down together.
Yeah.
I remember, and there's so much more. He says constantly that you can take this game to the level you want. That's kind of how he wrote the rules.
Yeah.
So, there's the factions. I think you're the... Who are you? You're the...
Danes
versus the other ones?
The other ones.
We're blanking hard, man.
We're not familiar with Europe, right? We're way down here in
I've only
Australia.
been thinking about this the whole time.
True. Is it like Norwegians or something?
Yeah. The Norse.
Yeah.
So you've got the Norse, who I believe are like the ones who are ferocious and terrifying in the sea.
Yeah.
And then the Danes, who I think are a little bit more resourced.
Yeah, and like master shipbuilders.
And so you've got, and that plays through the faction choices that you make, and then you pick your Jarl, and they might have like
boons.
Yeah, even negative traits as well, which is very cool.
Yeah.
So you're creating this character who might be, it's sort of like archetypes.
Like an RPG, right?
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
very
like
RPG.
You're taking a negative trait to earn more points for a bonus trait.
Well, when you create your leader, you pick the path. I've got it in front of me. So you could be an upstart, or maybe you've become a Jarl from hereditary reasons, or you're a nationalist, or a renegade, or a usurper, or a tyrant, a merchant, adventurer, spiritualistic, or excessive. You live in excess, so you got money and wealth, but that's when you get some negative traits. In fact, your rules are you must select one negative trait between drunkard and cowardly. Because you've grown up in wealth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very cool. And when you create your leader, you got combat traits and other traits, negative traits. You've got upgrades for the Norse and the Danes.
Yeah.
Effects and abilities, which are different. Like, I think abilities are like constant. Effects might be like a once-off thing. And yeah, it's great. Then you obviously pay for your crews and your ships. There's different like point levels that you play at.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Hersia, Jarl, and King are like the three. So when you buy that starter set, you can actually play. There's enough for 2 people to play at the Hersia level.
Yep.
Or one person, if you bought that box, you could play at the King level.
Yep. But Luke also mentioned there was like he's had games of like 10 ships. like massive fleets.
Yeah, that's the power of 10 mil, I think.
Yeah.
Doing it
Yeah.
at this scale means you can have a 6x4 table, and you could have fleets. You could have actual islands with like little 10 millimeter villages.
Yeah.
And you can actually take your troops out and fight on land.
Yeah.
That's in the game now. Whereas it's a part of the game now, it will become like the game later. I think
Yeah.
it's writing rules, or it's going to be in the expansion where that will be a bigger thing.
Imagine that, man. Just a massive like 10 mil on land battle.
Well, that's what he explained. The goal is you have these two things happening at the same time: a
Yeah.
fight on land, and you'll be reinforcing each other. So, like
Yeah.
the boats that hit the land, you could pile out
Imagine that.
and
That's
contribute to the So absolutely insane where it's at now. It's one of the best games I've ever played,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I have been excited about it ever since. We actually have deliberately not even talked about it
Yeah.
since CanCon.
I remember the whole drive home. It's kind of like, oh man, that game. Nah, can't
No,
talk
can't
about
talk
it.
about. We're gripping our thighs.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "What'd you think of Fjord Serpents?" You'd be
just
like,
white
I
knuckle on
guess
the
we'll
steering
find out
wheel."
on the episode." Which brings me to my next question, Shane.
Yep.
What did you think about Fjord Serpents?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Just loved it. Like, just the whole like variable target number dice roll
Yeah.
was just added. It was so minute, and like you could play the game without it, but I loved it. I just loved that element to it.
It's like, it's like when they put a little bit of garnish on like a mojito or something, and you're like, I could drink a mojito without the garnish,
Yep.
but just knowing it's there,
Yeah.
it just adds to it.
Yeah.
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 What a weird abstract analogy.
Yeah,
but-
I mean, how often do you drink mojitos, dude?
I mean, me never, but if they garnished them, I'd be in there more often.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I feel about Fjord Serpents.
How about a daiquiri?
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not much of a...
Yeah, I'm not much cocktail.
not much of tails.
Yeah. That's facts. One more thing I was going to say about it is there's a very cool brace mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the
Yep.
maybe the best mechanic the game has.
Yep. And you could do it offensively or defensively.
Yep. Yeah, it's
Yep.
awesome because each of your crew trays basically it has an activation, but only one of them is fighting and combat.
Mm-hmm.
The others are then used to support that troop or
Yeah.
to do other things. Like if you want to grapple,
Yep.
one of those crews have to spend that action to grapple.
Or one of them can spend action to try and break the grapple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got these brace tokens, and then you can use those to add dice offensively, defensively.
Yep.
Same as if you wound the target, you could kill them outright, but sometimes you can do wounds, and then you can spend those wounds to, I think it's increased, decreased dice. I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really cool stuff going on. The balance between the actual ship, I did feel like it was perfect.
Yep.
Like there was so much. I was playing the ship game
Yep.
because we didn't really talk much about our game, but you basically just 1v1'd Luke on your own with your tiny little ship.
I tanked him hard.
And I did nothing.
You came in and KS'd him, dude.
Actually, I did KS. I came in and rolled some insane rolls right at
Yep.
the end just to kill the last two things, and
Yep.
we stole his ship back.
I had him, bro.
You didn't need me.
I had him on the ropes.
You didn't
dude.
need me at all, but it was
You just come
satisfying
in
to
and
come in
just
and
go
just go boom, boom. I think it was like the dice of the turn was fives, and I think I rolled two fives.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, they're both dead.
Yeah.
I was like, that felt very good.
Yeah.
That felt very nice.
Yep.
But yeah, it was very satisfying. It felt thematic. We don't really know, I guess, that era well. I mean, I've seen 3 seasons of Vikings.
I played Valheim.
There we go. We're basically there. But having Luke talk us through
Yeah.
it as well, like even
Yeah.
like his attention to detail, even in having the trade ships, typically were sturdier vehicles and had more stocks on there. So they had like, what do you call it, higher decks.
Yeah.
And so when you're fighting against the regular Viking longboats,
You got a bonus.
You get a bonus.
Higher. You got the high ground.
You got the high ground. It's
Yeah.
over, Anakin. So you do. Like, it's much easier to just be up there on the deck stabbing down. So you get a bonus fighting on those ship edges.
Yep.
But it's very cool, too, because your trade ship, a merchant ship, isn't just like something you use for scenarios. It's actually something you would want to list build for.
Yeah, because you could you had resources on there like mead or furs.
Yeah.
And you could discard those to give yourself a turn bonus. Like you could discard furs to give you a defensive bonus or mead to give you a speed bonus.
Yeah.
And it's
Dumping
like
the meat off
it's
the
like,
thing
it's
to
just-
boost it
that's
up.
the last thing I'd be throwing off to their.
I'd be throwing off the troops.
I'd be throwing off the family.
Yeah.
I get rid of the meat.
The slaves. The slaves is one of them you can put on there as well.
Yeah,
They have a more politically correct name. I forget what it is, but they were slaves.
They were so
And you could throw them. You could throw the captives off.
Yep.
So the trade vessel is cool, but yeah, it's actually like it can fight too.
Yeah.
which is
that's one thing Luke mentioned is when you sink a ship, your troops then go into the water.
Yes.
And then you can sail up on them and either kill them in the
You
water.
just kill them, yeah.
Or take them as
captives.
slaves.
What? You did the wrong thing, bro. You're right though. I respect that.
Yeah, so it's like you can just either run them over with your boat and hit them with the fucking oars.
And mind you, we
Take
played.
them on.
We froth this game. By the sound, I froth this game.
Yeah, I loved it too. So good.
And we played with 10% of the rules.
Really,
We had the demo game
Yeah,
experience.
we did. We had the experience which you would play with your board game friend.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is such a great boxed game to
Yeah.
like, even if they don't paint or anything,
No.
this is a great game. This
And
is-
like honestly, 10 mil scale, everything's so small. He painted up. He gave us some free
Demo minis, yeah,
so
really
you,
cool.
you slapped them up really good. They came up so well.
Thanks, man.
And like
God.
the ships themselves, a bit of brown paint and a dry brush, and they're going to come up.
Oh, yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't need to go to the full, like they will. I just smacked mine with contrast paints.
Yeah.
Took like 30 minutes to paint the 10 little dudes.
Yep.
Eight little dudes.
8 little dudes.
Anyway, it was fantastic. Fjord
Yeah.
Serpents. It will. I don't want to say that we're going to do stuff and then not do it.
No,
But I'm pretty confident we're going to do stuff.
We're
with
going to
this.
revisit this.
Yeah, this will be revisited.
Revisit it.
This will be purchased.
Yep.
And this will be painted and this will be played.
Yep.
So hopefully we'll get some battle reports.
I've learned to be very hesitant in going Harveys in games with you.
You don't.
But
You
this
know
is
you
one
don't have to worry about this one.
It's a safe bet.
Yeah.
It is a safe bet.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah.
Both facts. Yeah. Never go harvest in a game with me because I will sell my arm.
Yeah, without even telling me.
I told
It's
you eventually.
I said to you, I'm like, if you decide to sell this, I will buy it off you.
And then what I say? Too late. That ship has sailed, chief.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
There was a what do you call it? Foreshadowing when I said that ship has sailed.
Yep.
For Fjord Serpents. So I'll be smacking it. There was one thing we just mentioned. The campaign looks great.
Yeah. Tell me about the campaign.
I don't know much about it except that it looks great.
Interesting.
So basically, it's sort of like done in arcs that come to an actual completion.
That's what you need, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's so hard to wrap a campaign up. It's kind of like, do I just wrap it up when I'm sick of it?
Yeah,
Or like,
yeah.
do I have to put the effort in to create a conclusion?
Or do I say after 20 whatevers,
Yeah.
then I've won?
Yep.
Whereas this has like, it's good for like 2 or more players.
It's like
where
a
you-
choose your own adventure, right?
Basically,
Yeah.
It's like this happens, depending on whether or not this happened or this happened, then you can choose this or this
Yeah.
type of fight.
It's so good.
And
it's so good.
it seems to do it in a really clean way where you're still in a matched play game. Like, you might have just slaughtered me from the last round.
Yep.
But we go into the next one in a way where we're still balanced, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then draws itself into, like you said, a choose your own adventure kind of conclusion based
Yep.
on the story we're both trying to tell. And I don't think it takes that many games to get there either, which is great. I
Nice.
think you tell these nice little stories,
Yep.
and then you go, that was sick. Let's start again.
Yeah.
And
let's
this time,
make new Jarls.
yeah, exactly.
New sort of backstories. Yeah.
And
Cool.
make a story around that.
Yeah.
So if you were there ever thinking, like if you look at those ships and go, they look great. I hope the game's good. The
It
game
is.
is better than the ships, and the ships are incredible.
Oh man, I just keep thinking back to like just watching him do those demo games that first day,
Yeah.
and seeing that first table he had sort of on display,
Yeah.
and then he was behind with the second lot of ships. Just unreal, and like the hobby that you can do too. Like, obviously being 10 mil and naval, it's going to mean for us we need more terrain. We need appropriate terrain.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to building those little islands and building those, like jagged rocks and,
Yeah.
and cliff faces. And,
Scary rocks.
Yeah.
They got like the tokens and everything that you need in the box, but absolutely.
Yep.
And I think he said on his channel he hopes to start doing stuff like that, creating content.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
does have a channel, I forget what it's called, a YouTube channel where he creates content, or is hoping to create some more content like that, as well as including books where there's like, historically, the great thing about the Viking era is there's not tons known.
Yeah, yeah.
Like even what the designs on the shields mean, or who had them, or why.
Yeah.
We got a loose idea of like what colors they use and what kind of designs they use based on what they found on rocks or relics.
And what was available, especially color-wise.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
was one thing back in the day. It was hard to make color.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah.
So there's a lot of little things like that where there's some creative control you can have over it.
Yeah.
But also it's your game. If you want to make it fantasy driven, go for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a cool thing. He also makes it with he's made it with the intention that, or the understanding that some people aren't going to want to play his game but just model.
Yep.
So there's like little inserts that fill the gaps where the troops went if you just want to use the ship.
Oh, nice.
At least that's what they said on a podcast that he did
Yep.
a little while ago. It's
Yep.
the first time I've watched an hour-long podcast.
Wow, we used to do them.
Wow. People used to listen to those.
I know, right?
And we can't thank you enough for that,
Absolutely.
patrons.
Yeah. And listeners.
and listeners.
And listeners. Yeah, so Fjord Serpents, man. I'm super keen. You're super keen. Let's just...
It's got this buzz about it in my heart of hearts. The same vibe that Test of Honor had.
Okay.
It's got that same, like, beautiful game, great theme.
Yep.
No one else has, like, done it in a way like it's being done. Beautiful
Yeah.
models, all that kind of stuff. The difference with this is we got to actually play the game before we played the game.
Hell yeah, man.
And it has just locked me in.
Mm-hmm.
It's locked me in.
I hear ya.
Let's do it. After this,
Yeah.
we'll have to jump on and pick what ships we want to buy.
True. True.
Facts.
Massive shout out to our patrons. Without you guys, we would not be here doing what we do every single week.
Every
Except
single
for when we
week.
go to Cancon.
Yeah, we did forget about an episode.
We miss like 4 episodes a year. It's pretty good.
That's not bad.
3 or 4 episodes a year.
It's not bad. How many have we done? Over 250?
Nearly. Nearly.
Is it 200? Oh,
Getting close.
It's over 250 videos.
Yeah, there's a lot of beers and banter.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, over 200 of this because of you.
Yeah, because of you.
Ad
Yep.
free because YouTube won't let us have ads, but also because of you. The one time we got a lick of an ad, we went for it.
Yeah,
Smooth my
yeah.
balls, which
Gots
you could
to.
probably still buy. But I
It's
wouldn't.
probably
But you
still a
could.
link, maybe. I don't know.
I still use mine. I used mine today, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's relevant.
All smoothed.
They're okay. It was low batteries. It was a little chalky, but
Christ, how often do you use it, dude?
yeah, I've only found the charger today, which is why I used it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've been missing the charger for a while, but that's neither
Fair.
here nor there.
Fair.
Thank you to our patrons, our loyal folk.
Thank you for smooth balls.
Thank you for smooth balls.
Massive shout out to our patrons. As always, we have the goats. We have Burnsy, Farm Dinosaur, Gridlock, Axe, Anax, MJ, Test Dummy, and Black Apollo.
We've also got Brandon W, Moose, Alco, Churchy, thanks Churchy, Rad Rooster, Ollie, Hawkers, Penny, Aggro, Don Hua, Don Pure Blind, Primal Nerd, Jackson V, Fat Boy, and Big Roach. No one's complained that they haven't got like a readout with the same enthusiasm as Big Roach.
Yeah, because no one else is Big Roach, dude.
That's true, and I think deep down we all know that.
Everybody knows that. If you're not Big Roach, then you know you're not Big Roach.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But if you want one, we're going to bring out new Patreon tiers too.
yeah, with the Big Roach tier.
Yeah, the Big Roach tier. $50, you can have that every single week.
You can be Big Roach too.
Except for 4 weeks of the year where we forget.
Yeah.
All right. See you next week.
Hooray.
Woo! Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane, set your minds free. No locks and chains, do what you love, roll the dice, 50-50, we cold as ice.